저는 11년 동안 계속 한국에 살고 있잖아요. 저는 이제 한국인 학습자들은 되게 이해해요. Why do Korean students struggle with English even though they start learning from a young age? 여러분들 안녕하세요. 가브리엘입니다. Hello again, everyone. Now, some of you may or may not know, 저는 미국에서 안전된 생활을 살 수 있는 기회가 있었습니다. My family is pretty well off and we have a lot of opportunities for me to live a very safe, stable life in the States. However, I gave that up. Now, a lot of people ask me why, but to me, it was kind of a no-brainer. When I came to Korea, I started teaching English. And to me, teaching English isn't only about actually teaching English itself. My students have the ability to broaden their horizons, expand their point of view, and learn more about themselves through studying another language. Let me give you an example. I have a student who was very nervous. He always second-guessed himself. But we gave him the opportunity to do more presentations, to talk in front of people, to use the phrases that he learned to show off his work. Then he ended up trying out a speech competition. 근데 어떻게 됐을까요? 1등 했어요. Oh, I was so proud of him. And do you know what he told me? He said, "Teacher, you didn't just teach me English. You changed my life." Now, a lot of my students tell me this in letters on my birthday or on Teacher's Day. They say, "Teacher, you're not just a teacher to me. You've changed the way that I think and the way that I want to live my life, my goals, my dreams." And 사실은 그거 바로 내가 원하는 선생님이에요. I want to be someone that inspires my students, inspires them to work harder, to enjoy English, to find their own confidence, and get an interest in what they're learning. 저는 바로 그런 선생님이 되고 싶고, I want my students to be open and honest and free with me, like family. That's the kind of person that I want to be. In the US, English is taken for granted, but I realized in Korea that I can take English beyond the classroom. I can turn someone's dreams into a reality. Now, here, through teaching English and through being a teacher like this, I can teach not only English, but about my perspectives, about a different point of view, and about my culture. Now we can share, not only me teaching, but learning about each other. That's something that's really important to me and the teacher that I want to be. Now I have a question for you. Why do Korean students struggle with English even though they start learning from a young age? I'll give you my experience. 초등학교 때부터 약간 students start to learn with a foreign teacher. Maybe they learn very lightly, have fun, and then starting from middle school, they start to learn only reading comprehension and grammar. It becomes more of a test subject. So what happens is, because they're focusing on getting the test scores, they get less experience with audiovisual materials. That means they're getting less input, very important listening input. They're doing less speaking. So basically all those skills that they might have learned in elementary school, 없어져. Language is one of those things that if you don't use it, you lose it. So what happens is, even though they started to learn in elementary school, they lose those speaking and listening skills in middle school and high school because their focus is on tests. It becomes a test subject. 그러면은 나중에 maybe 대학교 때 아니면 성인 됐을 때 I want to study English. 근데 이제는 왜 이렇게 어렵지? 옛날에 이렇게 안 어려웠는데. Why does this happen? This is because our way of thinking and speaking has been ingrained already in Korean or in your native language. And if you haven't noticed, English grammar and Korean grammar are completely opposite. That means that when we try and speak again, we're so used to this writing and grammar that when we try and speak, it doesn't flow. It can't come out in sentences. Also, Korean students have the tendency to want to be perfect. They say, English needs to be perfect. I need to make the sentence perfect in my head before it comes out. Now, this actually works against Korean students because 한국 학습자들은 정말 대단해요. They have good, strong motivation. But if you're worried too much about being perfect, this can work against you because it doesn't work well with speaking. Now, that's the two main problems why Koreans struggle with doing English well. First, because they learned it from a young age, but they don't have enough audio-visual input. They're not watching TV shows or listening to music or getting that listening and speaking experience that they need. Second, it's psychological. You're worried too much about being perfect that it actually takes away the opportunity for you to practice those language skills. Now, I don't see English as just a way of improving test scores. Instead, I have a philosophy. Language is connection. 언어는 연결이다. Why? Language connects people to people. It connects us to different things. So not only do I want my students to be able to improve themselves, I want them to broaden their horizons, expand their opportunities, and build their confidence, to be able to sincerely communicate with others using English. Now, instead of using these boring textbook phrases, I want them to be able to talk with English speakers with phrases that can actually be used in real life. If you use my book, you can avoid misunderstandings. You can learn phrases that it can actually be used. Think about when you need to be polite or when you need to be just friendly. When you want to avoid stiff, translated phrases, that's the kind of English I want to teach. I want you guys to sound natural in a way that makes you sound like a native and be confident in yourself. Moving forward, I want to give students more than just English lessons. Through my book and online lectures, I want them to experience this feeling. A door that was closed is now open, thanks to English. I have more opportunities, broader perspective, and more things that I can do, that I'm interested, that I want to try because of English. And not only that, 저는 11년 동안 계속 한국에 살고 있잖아요. 저는 이제 한국인 학습자들은 되게 이해해요. 어떻게 공부해야 되는지, 그리고 어떤 스타일로 하는지 좋을 건지 이 경험상에 다 서서 내 책 통해서 나누고 싶어요. I want to become somebody that you can look up to, that you can follow. I want to become almost like family to you so we can go through this process together. And I really can't wait for the day when I can meet you in person and we can talk about your English journey. I want to be someone that you can believe in. So I hope that you check out my book and we can become closer together. Bye bye everyone. 오늘도 너무 재밌었습니다. Bye bye. I hear a lot of mistakes with favorite because it's a really common word that almost all English students